Never in my life did I think a game would change me as much as this game did. Life is Strange has just passed its 10-year birthday and I finally got the chance to play this masterpiece. My name is Rezi and I have a new addiction to obtaining those glorious platinum trophies. So if you love gaming and love to get absolutely everything out of a game, then be sure to drop a like on the video and hit that subscribe button to see what comes next. I've just come off obtaining the platinum trophy for the AAA game Assassin's Creed Shadows, and Life is Strange knocks it out the park. This platinum journey genuinely has made me change the way I approach games in the future, and you'll see why at the end. Let's get into this. The game kicks off with Max in a ferocious storm near a lighthouse. Max is who we will be playing with throughout this masterpiece. This storm was on its way to taking out Arcadia Bay, the town in which we live in. Waking up confused in class, we start questioning what just happened. Dazed as ever, I get the first prompt to take a photo. The trophies in this game are extremely easy. All you need to do is play the game and take all of the optional photos. There are around 50 in total, with a trophy for each. I won't cover how to get them all, but I will leave a link in the description for a guide that I used to help me get this platinum. Finally, stepping out the classroom and still startled from that horrible vision that we had, we make our way over to the bathroom to splash some water on our face. But before doing that, spotting a missing persons poster for a Rachel Amber. This will unfold later on. In the bathroom now, thinking everything was normal and taking a picture of this beautiful butterfly, a guy called Nathan Prescott walks in mumbling to himself, clearly distressed, and in before this girl followed him in. They have an altercation about drugs and money, which progressively gets more and more heated until Nathan pulls out a gun and in the heat of the moment pulls the trigger. I guess this isn't going to be just a normal game, but in a panic, Max reaches out and turns back time. That's right, we have superpowers, but now we are back where we started in class. Testing our powers, we realize that this is real and we have to get back to the bathroom to save that girl. We get shown that we can rewind time and experience different dialogue options with certain characters, which is very handy and we use it quite a lot later on. Finally though, we do make it to the bathroom and I needed a plan to stop this girl from getting shot. In an act of quick thinking, I grab a hammer to pull the fire alarm and split this fight up. To be soon caught by the principal on the way out, this is where the game shows us that certain decisions will have drastic consequences on the story. So with that being said, I snitch on Nathan Prescott for being a pretentious prick, and I fully embrace the consequences that are to come. Now out of the school and onto Blackwell Academy's grounds, I take my second optional photo of a bird on a statue. Then I go over to this hipster looking dude called Justin and show him that I am totally cool by telling a kid to do a tray flip. This is another photo opportunity, so we get another trophy. Right, back on track and making our way over to the dorms. Never mind, I get distracted and take a photo of a squirrel. We get some dialogue here with this absolute bitch called Victoria. She is like a stuck up, straight up annoying to be around person, so we use our powers to make some paint splat all over her so she would get out of the way from blocking the door. Okay, into the dorms now. I did miss an optional photo here, but I'll get that at the end of the episode with the chapter select. I go grab a thumb drive as our friend Warren was asking for it, but Max's friend Dana decided to borrow it. But Juliet here was blocking Dana's door. At this point in the game, I was really hoping it wasn't going to be some standard teen drama type game, but just stick with me here. I go into Victoria's room to hopefully get some evidence to put this drama to bed so I can get the thumb drive for Warren, and I take the opportunity to rearrange the bitch's photos on her wall and get another trophy. Right, now with the thumb drive, I finally make it out of the dorms, and this time I use my powers to help Alyssa here from getting hit in the head with a football. It goes straight past her and hits a window. What a perfect photo opportunity here. As we leave the dorm area, we see a security guy called David having an altercation with this girl called Kate. She looks super distressed, but I don't intervene as a photo can be used for evidence later on. But this does come at the cost of Kate being mad at us for not sticking up for her. This will make a little bit more sense later on. Arriving at the parking lot, I draw on this dusty RV and get another optional photo ticked off. Right, main mission at hand, I give the thumb drive back to Warren, but Nathan comes storming in and he is pissed. I'm guessing this is because I dobbed him in, but screw him. Warren stands up for us, but that girl that we saved earlier, she's the one that saves the day. This girl is Chloe, who we didn't recognize at first, but she was our childhood friend that we had not seen in over 5 years. We have a little catch up on the drive, but we see our camera is broken from the fall. Chloe then takes us back to her place where we have a chance to fix the camera, but this is where things really start to fall in place. In Chloe's house, we find this picture of a girl. Yes, this is Rachel, the girl that went missing. We can see that Chloe and Rachel were best buddies, and it shows how upset Chloe is and how bad she wants to find her again. Anyway, we need to get some tools to fix our camera, so we go into the garage, and this is where we find out that David, that security guard, is Chloe's stepdad. See what I mean about all of these pieces coming together? He looks like a right creep with these cameras all around the school, and some on Kate specifically. It is not a good look. Not managing to fix our camera though, even with the tools, Chloe decides to give us one of hers, like the best friend she is. In before her stepdad, David, rocks up and yells at us for having a good time. Come on, it was just a little bit of weed. There's no harm in that. Escaping from David, we make it to the lighthouse from the beginning of the game, and I take yet another photo. Walking up this path now to this gorgeous view where obviously a photo of Chloe was in order, and this should have been the last one, but I needed to go get the other one from earlier. The conversation continues, and I tell Chloe about David being a creep, and as the conversation does go on, I black out of nowhere and we are back in the storm. This time I see this newspaper in the distance, and I walk over to it, and it reads Friday, which was in the future. Pretty much we had a week before this disaster unfolds. Then to end off the episode story, we tell Chloe about our powers, since she is our best friend after all, and we did save her life with them. Hey, have we just completed episode 1? Perfect. I think I missed a photo opportunity. Let's go back and get that. Before moving into episode 2 though, let's quickly grab the optional photo here, and then that is episode 1 fully done and dusted. That was amazing. Waking up from that rough night, we start episode 2 out of time. Going into the showers to wash the night away, we see Kate, and she is not very happy that we didn't intervene with her altercation with David, but the photo will be more useful later on. As we are showering, we hear Victoria teasing Kate about a video of her getting with a bunch of people at a party. This kind of hit close to home, as you do see this in many schools where a video goes around ruining the kid's life. It's a sad sight to see, so I remove the URL which Victoria wrote on the mirror and head back to my dorm. Arriving back to see a message from which I presume is from Nathan, as he is still mad that I dobbed him in. Anyway, returning back to Kate now, I take a picture of her rabbit for a trophy, and then we leave the dorms. As always, we take a picture of another squirrel on our way out. We see Warren here and thank him for helping us in that altercation with Nathan, and we do agree on a little date, but this doesn't seem to go very far. On the bus leaving campus now, as we are going to meet Chloe at the diner, and as you can imagine, there are a few optional photos to take here. One being of the 2 whale sign, and then another one of this guy's dog. Who can't resist taking a photo of a dog? And now making our way into the diner to the bathroom, we can get another optional photo here. Now, finally, photos done. We sit in the booth and wait for Chloe, and her mum joins us as she is working at the diner and offers us some breakfast. Chloe finally makes her way to the diner, and this is where we get to play with our powers a little bit, just to prove to her that it is legit. She finally believes us after showing us how the powers work, and we leave the diner and head to this junkyard where Rachel and Chloe used to hang out. Chloe thought it would be an absolutely brilliant idea to grab some bottles to shoot, so I had to go looking for those. While searching, I took this photo of a yellow bus and then another of this deer. While looking for the bottles, I did stumble into Rachel and Chloe's hideout spot, and it was actually quite sad to see, as you can really imagine how close these two were, and she is now missing and unknown if alive or not. Shooting up these bottles and using our powers a little too much, Max basically blacks out here and wakes up with a bloody nose and not knowing what's going on. Soon as I wake up though, I do take a photo of Chloe laying on the car before this guy, Frank, shows up. Chloe owes this dealer money, but he also has ties with Rachel, so it got heated very fast, and I had a choice to shoot him with that gun. I feel like Max in this moment, out of fear, would have taken the shot, so I did, but luckily for him, the gun jammed or just had no bullets left and he did not get shot. However, this is one of those choices that will have severe consequences. On a walk now, they decide to park up on some train tracks, which is so stupid, and you can see this in action as Chloe gets her foot stuck and we need to get her out using our powers. Jesus, how many times is this girl going to avoid death? After that little bit of fun, we're now back on campus and we run into David to settle the beef that we had, and then making our way into the science class to see Warren and helping him with a little project, and I get my 9th optional photo of this episode. Okay, maybe I should go to my actual class now, and then as soon as I walk in, I see Alyssa standing by the window looking all artsy, and that gives us the final photo of this episode. Class felt odd here as I see Kate walking outside crying, and then as class begins to start, some kid runs in saying something is going down in the dorms. Over at the dorms, we see Kate is standing on the roof over the edge, and I think you can guess where this is going to lead. She jumps. But we have our powers, right? So we can use all of our strength to manage to get up to the top of the roof, but this is exhausting for us and we can't use our powers anymore. I tried going through every single dialogue option that I could, but it wasn't enough. She still jumped. No matter what I did, she jumped. Fast forwarding now to the principal's office, basically debriefing what just happened. I get multiple options for who to snitch on for Kate's death, and I decided to go with David. As I already had so much heat from Nathan, I thought I could manipulate him later on, but I do regret this choice towards the end of the game, and you'll see why. That pretty much concludes episode 2, and we get a glimpse of some red folders here with some names on, more specifically Rachel, so someone knows what is going on in this town. Out of time. Finish up. Oh, I guess we could never really save her. I like that episode a lot. God damn. That was an emotional roller coaster. I'm here for it. A brilliant end to episode 2, but we must move on to episode 3, Chaos Theory. It's really sad to see the change on campus since Kate's death, and I think they did a good job in showing that one death impacts everyone on campus and not just Kate's friends. Now to do some snooping in Victoria's room, I have an opportunity for an optional photo of this doll on her shelf. Leaving the dorms, and now you guessed it, it's time to take a photo of another squirrel. On the way to the main campus, I see the principal really drunk, so using our powers, I avoid him and I make my way out. I did not want to deal with him. Before sneaking into the school, we see Victoria flirting with Mr. Jefferson so she can win the photo contest. What a scumbag. Our main goal here is to get into the principal's office to see what information we can find, but unable to get into the office, I text Warren to give me the details on how to make a small bomb. This bomb will later break through the door. While looking for the ingredients, I take a photo of a fish tank and then another of a skeleton with a cigarette in its mouth. Now getting all of the ingredients, the bomb actually works. I don't know if I should say this or not, but maybe don't try this one at home. Now into the office, I don't want to trigger any alarms, so I rewind time and then open the door normally as if nothing ever happened. Now it's time to snoop, and we find some information on Kate's death, some details regarding the Prescott family and what a chokehold they have the school in, and then some files on the students like Rachel, Chloe, Max, everyone. Then with Chloe sat in the principal's chair, I take this opportunity to take a stunning photo of her. And then she decides to do some snooping and finds $5 grand in the drawers. I make the choice to take the money as Chloe can use this to pay back Frank. Since we have the keys to the school, it makes perfect sense for us to go use the pool. I mean, come on, who wouldn't in this situation? Max and Chloe both end up in the pool having a blast together before Chloe's stepdad comes in for a security check. Luckily though, we manage to escape without being seen and then get taken back to Chloe's house. Waking up in the morning after that long night next to Chloe, she says we can put on some of Rachel's clothes, which felt a bit wrong, but they did look good, so it was only right to take a bathroom selfie with them on. Coming downstairs, I talk to Joyce as she offers us breakfast, living the dream as always. I notice a bird in the living room, so I manage to let it out and then go into the garden and take a photo of it. Now Chloe decides to make a scene with Joyce, which gives us the opportunity to go snooping through David's stuff once again. After some detective work, we get into the laptop and see that he had some information on Rachel, which was just super creepy. From this, we can then see that Rachel and Frank, yes, the drug dealer, were hooking up. What a match made in heaven. David comes home as we're about to tell Chloe about all of the details we just found, but Max snaps at David here and pretty much gets him kicked out of his own home. Way to home wreck, but he deserved it. Chloe and I now leave to go to the diner to go find Frank to ask him more questions. As you can imagine, there were some more photo opportunities here. I convinced the first guy to let me take a photo of his truck and then another of this dead bird. Yeah, that one was a bit dark, but hey ho. Right, now talking to Frank, I managed to snatch Match's keys so we can get searching in his RV for any information that we can find on Rachel. This is where we see that they were most definitely hooking up, and Chloe seems very betrayed and feeling like she didn't even know her best friend at all. Now this is where the whole game goes very wrong. Max is looking through old photos and manages to go back in time to where this photo was taken. In this timeline, William was still alive, and I think you can imagine where this is going. But first, let's grab this optional photo. Did I get them all? Yeah, camera eye. Take all optional photos in episode 3. We see William get a phone call from Joyce to pick her up from grocery shopping, but this is how he dies in the original timeline. So with Max trying to be the hero that she is, she does everything to stop this event and makes him get the bus instead of driving. Obviously, this keeping him alive. We see in these photos now that we have altered the timeline completely, but we had saved William's life. But at what cost? We see the timeline changing as we are able to play as Max again in present day. The friendship groups are now different, but I was asking myself, where's Chloe? I decided to make my way over to her house, and yeah, this one hit very hard. She's now crippled. Jesus, that scene hit me like a truck. Yeah, cutting into the edit here and breaking the fourth wall, I did not mean to be that ironic when saying that line. This is why we don't mess with time travel, okay? I saved William, but at the cost of Chloe's well-being, was it even worth it? But with that dramatic end, that just about wraps up episode 3. Yeah, we can see that the game is really starting to take a turn now. On to episode 4, we are talking to Chloe and understanding what had happened to her over the years. Instead of William getting into a car accident, it was Chloe this time. It is genuinely awful to see that somebody so young experiencing injuries that have a drastic impact on their life forever. Back to Chloe's house as she wasn't feeling so good, she's talking about how much she hates the way that she is feeling and hates not being able to be herself in her own body. Chloe basically tells us to off her. This must be such a tough thing for Max to go through in this situation, and I'd hate to go through it myself. I make the choice to give her a peaceful death and then use the picture to go back in time once again, back to the day that William died. At least in this timeline she gets a peaceful life, but when I go back, this time I do nothing. I have to let him go in order to save Chloe, and I even throw that Polaroid in the fire so there is no temptation to go back in time and screw things up again. Okay, now back to reality. I'm so happy to see that Chloe is alive and healthy, and I take a picture of her to savor the moment. I head to David's garage to get some information on Rachel and Kate, but first I need to take a picture of this bird's nest for a trophy. Cracking open this locker, we get some good intel that I can now take back to Chloe. Chloe and I make it back to campus and I get the photo of a lifetime. Some rocks. Yeah, that'll do. If you haven't noticed yet, I'm yet to take a photo of a squirrel in this episode, so let's go do that right now. I need to get some more information on the scumbag Nathan Prescott, so I sneak into the boys' dorms and then I take a photo of Bigfoot. I mean, come on, what kind of photographer do you think I am? Now into Nathan's dorm, we see the absolute state that he has left it in, but I find this phone behind this little couch thing. I'm going to steal this as I'm sure it'll be very useful later on and might have some key information on Rachel, or at least her whereabouts. On the way out, however, Nathan does catch us here. Warren thankfully comes to the rescue and I pull him off kicking Nathan as I don't want to add any more fuel to the fire. With this information, we needed Frank's client list, so hopefully we can start connecting some dots, but it is going to be tough getting that out of him. Arriving at the beach, the first thing I gotta do is take a picture of these washed up whales before attempting to talk to Frank. I made the decision to give him the money as it will make sweet talking him that little bit much easier. He was pretty reluctant to give us the client list and I definitely didn't shoot him in one of my previous attempts, but we do get that client list and head back to Chloe's house. Back in Chloe's bedroom, we got some puzzles to do. I won't bore you with how many attempts this took me, but all of the information told us that Nathan is definitely involved and it led us to this barn in the middle of nowhere. Arriving at the barn now, which definitely doesn't look creepy at all, I get the opportunity to take a picture of a little bird. Upon entering the barn, I find this weird looking hatch on the floor and using some puzzle solving skills, I plan a way to get it open. Obviously not before taking a picture of an owl in the roof. Photos always come first. Walking down this hatch and my brain is wondering what the hell is going on and what was I about to walk into. Safe to say, I was not expecting this. I guess this is the reason why the episode is called Dark Room. This place gave me the creeps, and even more so after seeing these photos. Surely this this can't be Nathan, right? Seeing these files was awful to see and wondering what sicko could do this. First thoughts and Nathan, as the evidence all leads to him so far. One of Rachel's photos shows her in the ground, and Chloe recognizes this immediately and sees that it is the junkyard where they used to hang out. We don't hang around here long and immediately head that way. Honestly, I wish this bit wasn't true, but Rachel's body is there in the ground. Jesus, I never expected this game to hit this hard. Filled with absolute rage, Chloe and I head back to campus to go find Nathan, as we just think that it's him at this point. On campus now, we run into Warren, who has had a little bit too much to drink, but we get a cute photo together, but we need to stay on mission. Getting into this pool party, Nathan is nowhere to be seen, and on my search, I get this cool optional photo of Justin to add to the list, so that's a bonus. Shortly followed by a beautiful shot of these two moons. If that's not a sign of death, I don't know what is. But that's all of the optional photos done for this episode. Now just to finish it and find Nathan. Since there was a folder in the dark room with Victoria's name on it, I decided to warn her that she is in danger, and in this moment try and make amends with her. This was just before she got announced as a winner to the photography competition by Mr. Jefferson. There was still no sign of Nathan at this point, so we head back to the junkyard to see if he is there dealing with Rachel's body, and oh boy was I in for a shock. Looking over Rachel's body, I get drugged, and then Chloe gets shot right in front of me. This moment scared me. Even now editing this, it still gets to me. Everything, all of those small little pieces were falling in place, and then realizing it was Mr. Jefferson that was behind all of this. Jesus Christ, that was a rough ending to episode 4. Dark room. Finish episode 4 of the dark. Yo, we got some explaining to do. Oh my God. Not wasting any time now, moving on to the final episode of this amazing game. We wake up in the dark room where we were earlier in the game and catch sights on Mr. Jefferson. I didn't expect this twist, and oh boy was he sick and twisted in the head. Taking photos of us while we were drugged up on the floor. What a sicko. I have to say they did a really good job in portraying his character during this scene, because at this point in the game when playing, I was genuinely starting to hate him. You can even see that he is getting frustrated as I'm trying to move. They just did such a good job at portraying this character. I get sight of the original selfie that I took in class back in episode 1 and use it to go back in time again, which feels so weird that we are now at the beginning but know everything that is going to happen. It was really good to see Kate alive again, so I took an opportunity to take a photo of her just for another trophy. This time I go over to Mr. Jefferson and submit my photo for the contest, as I didn't do that last time, and maybe a little change would help. By doing this, we get given a cutscene of the photos changing, relating to how the timeline is now changing again. Chloe is alive and everything is seemingly all good. So good in fact that we are on the plane to San Francisco to go to that art gallery as the reward for winning that photo contest in this timeline. Arriving at the art gallery, I see an opportunity to take a photo of this woman here looking at some art, in before going to look at our own piece myself. This is where things start to change a little bit, as I get a nosebleed since we are using our powers so much, soon to be followed by a phone call. This phone call telling us that the original vision that we had of that storm is actually happening over Arcadia Bay and everyone is about to die. Yep, I guess things weren't as happy as we thought. One more time jump won't hurt, will it? I go back to when I took the original photo and then rip it in an attempt to save Arcadia Bay. This means we end up right back where we started in the dark room. There must be another way to fix this. Trying to plead with Mr. Jefferson to keep us alive, we ask him to take one last selfie of us. The only good thing here is that we got another trophy. Further forward now, Mr. Jefferson is about to drug us once more, but David comes around the corner in an attempt to save us. First time didn't go too well for him, but after a couple rewinds, I managed to get David to save the day and take Jefferson down. I kind of feel bad for being such a dickhead to him in the earlier episodes, but we are safe now, which is the main thing. Setting us free, we head into town to go find Warren, since he has a photo of us that we can use to go back into time again to a point where we can try and fix all of this. Coming into the town now, we see an absolute wreck that is going on and the people are dying all around us. I may have accidentally killed this guy, however in my defense I knew I was going to make it right by rewinding time and saving the day. On the way to the diner where Warren is, I don't miss the opportunity to take a photo of this whale and then get another photo of this car that is stuck in a roof. Okay, distractions all sorted, let's make it into the diner to meet Warren. I think something kind of got lost in translation here as he knew about our powers. Maybe I missed something though. Nonetheless, we get the photo and go back to the Vortex party with Chloe and tell her what is going to happen and that it is Mr. Jefferson who is behind all of this. This changes things once again and we go back to see that the storm is still going to hit, but we get thrown back into the classroom again. Not knowing what is going on, we do get a little throwback to the first optional photo here as we get number 6 of this episode. Now this is where things start to get even weirder. I open the door to leave and somehow we are in the dorms, and then open another door and our outfit changes. Next door, I'm now playing as Victoria, and then another door, the outfit changes again, but this time we can take a photo of 2 giant squirrels. Yeah, that's right, the last squirrel photo. Okay, finally I'm back in the hallways. Not so great though, as everything is moving backwards and I have made a real mess of the timeline here. I do notice this skeleton by the door here, so I grab a photo of it. Into the bathroom now, where everything began, as it is the first time we used our powers. But no, we enter this weird world between worlds area as time has really been messed up. This area was just straight up weird and creepy. In this section where there are a bunch of lockers, I find Warren's locker and take an extremely weird photo of what was inside his locker. I hope that's not real. I see the lighthouse in the distance and make my way over to it because that's where things kind of began. I take the opportunity to take the final photo of this game. Honestly, it was quite sad as I knew the game was very near its end. Taking a seat on this bench, I get a flashback of the day Chloe's dad died, and then to the dark room where we are seeing all of Max's worst nightmares of different people portraying us and everything. Then to make matters worse, I come out into the diner's bathroom and everyone is hating on me and blaming me for all of the bad that has happened recently. All I wanted to do was help, but then I go into another flashback scene, and this time walking through a bunch of scenes from the previous episodes, and again finally making it to the lighthouse. This point in the game was honestly so sad as there was a heartfelt conversation with Chloe and Max, and coming to the realization that every single major event has been caused to Chloe nearly dying. It was like the canon event in this game, and Chloe dying was inevitable, but we kept stopping it, so things just got worse and worse. I'll leave this kiss in just for the fans. And here it is, one last rewind. We've got to sacrifice Chloe to save Arcadia Bay, and now we are back into the bathroom where it all began. I felt this scene in my stomach. Playing this knowing Max had to just sit there and let Chloe die was awful. This game was incredible, so I'm going to leave you guys here with my raw thoughts and emotions of the ending. So please do drop a like on the video if you made it this far. Subscribe to see what comes next. I will definitely be playing all of the Life is Strange games very soon. Thank you guys so much for watching. This journey has been incredible. Hey, Polarized, finish episode 5. Is that it? Is that the platinum? What if? Now, this game I feel like has just changed my perspective on gaming. It's made me realize that I want to make choices in games where I can make choices, like choose Assassin's Creed Shadows for example. I would just make choices because it was funny or maybe for a little bit of content, but like the choices mattered in this game, and it's made me want to make decisions in gaming that I would actually make in real life, making those decisions which feel right to me rather than what might give the best outcome. My god, I don't know how many more there are. Maybe I think it's 3-4 more games. I'm looking forward to playing the others. This was a really good game. I was not expecting it to be this good. Story had me in a chokehold in some points, but damn, I think we're gonna carry on with the whole series. So if you did enjoy this video, please do drop a like. Subscribe if you're new. I think I've got Assassin's Creed 2 coming up next, and to break up that whole Assassin's Creed franchise, we'll chuck a few Life is Strange games in there. This has been an incredible journey. I don't know how I'm going to structure this video because it is just storytelling, but yeah, we'll see you in the next one.